Okay, hi team. On Tuesdays, we do broadcast our team trading room and training via YouTube streaming. So, welcome to our guests who are tuning in from around the world this morning. If you are a guest, my name is Vance Williams out of Seattle, Washington area. That's the United States. Welcome to my live Forex trading room. Today, first we'll take a quick peek at the market, then I'll explain what you need to learn. We're doing it kind of special today. We're going to do something we've never done before, which is show you the inside of our member area. I think you'll really appreciate how traders master the skill more if you know first what they're learning to do. So we'll talk about that first and then take a look at the members area. Market conditions, I usually talk about those first. We're kind of clear of high impact data this morning all the way till this evening, so there's nothing for our pairs left this morning. It's business as usual on Wall Street this morning, which just opened. A little bit of a plus side on the investment, so all we care about is business as usual. That's all we really care about. So let's take a look at the charts. This is the Euro 30-minute. I'll go ahead and expand that a little bit and zoom in. This is pretty choppy here right now. This range is not big enough for a high probability advantage. It's under 50 pips, so very, very choppy. I do have a level right here that I like, 134.91. When you see these green levels in any of the analysis I do, what those green levels indicate is an area where I think either the buyers on the top side or the sellers below begin to develop a high probability advantage. And you need basically to do two things correctly in order to make consistent profit. One, you need for the buyers or sellers to have a high probability advantage, and two, you need that movement. Once the advantage is created, you need that movement to be strong enough to enter and exit with good risk management. That's to say a good risk to reward ratio. And that also has to account for, range noise and that sort of things. But it really does come down to something that simple. All right, so whenever you see a long wick like this, this tells you that there's a lot of sell orders sitting here. It'd be buy orders if it was to the bottom side. So really for the euro, we need to get down below here, and then for on the top side we need to get up below here, and probably I'd be looking for a 30-minute candle close above here just to let me know that these buy orders or these sell orders have been eaten up by the buyers. So that's kind of it for the euro. There's nothing right now. I'd prefer a move to the downside here. I'd like to see this break below here. Up here, I think we're going to run into a mess. But if we get a strong enough move, then fine, we'll change our minds and go that way. All we care about is a buyer or seller advantage. On the pound, let's take a look at that. The pound is a bit of a mess too. The intraday trend is down, and the pound pair tends to be speculators in terms of behavior, and so we like to kind of keep an eye on what they think is going to happen. Right here, there's only about 25 pips, so even if this trend turned over, we'd kind of run into this area here. So the real important area on the top side is 161.43. But as I said, this is all kind of leaning to the downside. If you're a buyer, you'd be thinking right now, I don't want to get involved in this, and that's what's going to make it hard for price to get above here. To consider a trade right now, I'd probably be looking first in this story for a move below 160.67. I wouldn't necessarily worry about this area because it's just too far away from where price is now. Like I teach everybody, what we're looking for is a story to unfold that leads to a high probability advantage for the buyers or sellers, and then getting in and out with good risk management. So we're a little bit of a ways away. We can just kind of leave the charts for now because there's the story hasn't unfolded enough. We need to either move down here or above here, and on the euro, we need to move establish above here or move below here. So we'll come back to that maybe a little later with the team after we finish the public broadcast. Okay, so for those of you who don't know that are guests listening into our broadcast, I've been trading Forex and working with other traders now for about 10 years full time. That's every day. I mean, every once in a while I take off a week or two, but this is this is what I do. Again, I want to check with the team. I hear a lot of dings. You guys hear and see my screen okay? Okay, first I want to talk about why the training program works. And I think even our members that are listening in a different room, you know, it doesn't hurt to remember this and hear this repeated. To make anything work, first you have to be able to define accurately what it is you're setting out to do. Now, I know that sounds simple, but you'd be surprised at how few people actually define what they're setting out to do. And if you're able to do that, to define that in just very clearly, very often the answer just unfolds in minutes, right? And so I want you to know that there's only one goal in this program. I put together, by the way, a few sticky notes. Just type these up, you know, just kind of help you follow what I'm saying to emphasize the important things. There's only one goal in my program: consistent profit. And I always like to say, if you can't make some profit, you're never going to make more profit. And let's just go ahead and emphasize that just a little bit. If you can't make some profit, you're never going to make more profit. And you know, I'm repeating that because most traders behave, again, I'm a behavior expert, they behave as if that doesn't matter. And it does. It really does matter. Before you can make $1 million in business, you know, try making your first dollar. You know, before you try to break the world record, you know, running the mile, you know, better see how fast you can run it and what you need to do to improve, right? I mean, this is all real world stuff. So the goal is consistent profit, and there are two things that you need to be able to do in order to make consistent profit. And I think I have a note on that too. These are the two things. One, you need to master high probability trading. And two, you need to master high risk decision making. These are the two things that you need to learn to do in order to make consistent profit. And I'm kind of using a big word there, master. By mastering, I'm referring to you knowing enough about those two things and being trained enough in those two areas to make consistent profit, even though you probably will have limited experience. So experience levels do play into the strategy. There are a couple of reasons why traders struggle with the first part of that, which is probabilities. First of all, they lack a complete strategy. In other words, a complete approach to, you know, how do you make profit, right, in terms of a setup and a high probability setup. And the second part that they struggle with is there's some false beliefs about trading, some limiting beliefs. And you can see this limiting belief if you have experience like I do, because you see traders spending all of their time doing things that they believe will work but really will never work. These are things like trying to copy another trader, trying to learn so much that you know, if they just knew enough they would be successful. That's also a limiting belief. You'll never know enough to make profit. It's about what you do, not about what you know. The second thing I said you have to master is high risk decisions. And the biggest problem that probably 99% of us have when we come into Forex trading is we don't have any experience with making these types of decisions. And so we bring our experience from ordinary life, which basically gives us a feeling about things, you know, when we've kind of evaluated it, and then we kind of make a decision based upon how we feel about a situation. And if you do that in Forex trading, you know, bringing that ordinary life experience into it, basically your feelings are going to tell you to do the wrong thing just about every single time. And that's why some of you guys who've been doing this for a while have joked after you've traded and lost 10 in a row and God, geez, all they got to do is sell an indicator where people just follow what I do and do the opposite. The reason for that is because of the training we have in ordinary life. Along the way in my program, you'll come to understand the issues associated with trading psychology, and you will overcome them. Now, I'm going to talk about something very important here as far as my program is concerned, if I can get that sticky in the right place. And then we'll take a look at the member area. My program is 90% training and 10% education. If you don't pay attention to anything else on this session, pay attention to this one thing. My program is 90% training, 10% education. Now, 99% of what you'll find in the Forex market is education. You sitting in forums, you sitting in trading rooms, you watching videos. Okay? That's not training. That's education. Now, think about what training really is. In baseball, what is training? Do you spend 90% of your time watching the coach, or does the coach spend 90% of their time watching you? See the difference? What about a health trainer? How much time do they spend watching you versus you watching them? It's 90% them watching you. What about boxing? 90% of the time the trainer's watching you. So if you want to hang your hat on one single thing, you know, that makes us different, which there's a lot of things, but just if you want to hang your hat on one thing, we're probably one of the only Forex training programs in the world. Why? Because 90% of the time, we're watching you. So remember that the next time you're joining a trading room or listening for a couple of hours or a couple of weeks or a couple of months, that's education. And you're not really increasing your skill at all. You have to actually apply yourself, and your experience doing the right things is what results in your skill. And one interesting thing that I say once in a while is I tell our traders, after 3 months part-time, just 3 months, if the education's good, it's all the education you're ever going to need to make consistent profit. Yeah, someone's probably listening and has been doing this for 5 years and it still doesn't work. Yes, it's a sad truth for you, but good news for those who are brand new. So I can literally save you years of time and thousands, and perhaps I've saved some people tens of thousands of dollars. Because if you have the right education, after 3 months, you already know everything you need to know in terms of education to make consistent profit. From that point, it's about being able to execute. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go to the website. I'm going to click on this one here. Give me just a moment. This is live. I planned out most of it, but not everything's all queued up. This is where most of our members arrive when they get into our site. This is a list of all our active forums. Probably one of the first thing you'll notice is it doesn't say euro dollar making $1 million or 1 million pips or whatever. We don't do things that way. This is a list of all the active forums, and each of our members actually has a forum, their own personal forum. See, here's Playman, for each level of the program. Remember, this is a training program with specific objectives, and I'm going to tell you what those objectives are. So all of the level 1 traders here, you see this L2, L2, L3-2, L3-1, these designate which level they're in. So all of the level 1 traders can access the other level 1 traders' forums. So if you move to level 2, you can then access level 1 and 2. If you're in level 3, you can access level 1, 2, and 3. Now this is actually custom programming that we've done to create a private social network. Now I'm not going to go into all the functionality, but there's a news feed, there's a personal profile page, and a lot of other things. But the main thing is your forum in each level and the ability for myself and others to help you with your current objective. In other words, what you're working on in that level. And you basically try to carry out the objective in the level, and when you do, you can move forward. But I want to point out here, and anybody you talk to will tell you, everything that we do is transparent. All of the traders can communicate with one another. We haven't had the need for a lot of rules because everyone in this network, in the member area, they all understand what the objectives are. So now let's just quickly, let's go to level 1 education. But anyway, once you take the classes here, again, there's just a few. This is it for level 1. Once you take the classes, then you would go to your level 1 forum and you'd actually start trading, and you have a particular objective. Before I show you that, I want to also point out that we provide all the software you need and instructions for setting it up. Please know that we don't recommend any, we don't prefer any broker. We don't have a financial relationship with any broker. We don't care which broker you use. Okay, we just have this here just to help you out. And if you have a problem that we're not privy to, we'll just refer you to the broker, right? But we make this available just to get you up and running, and all of this tends to work pretty well for the traders. I do want to show that in level 1, I talked about each level has specific objectives. In level 1, your only objective is to carry out the level 1 trading plan. And I'll just click that on that real quick here and just kind of to show you. It's only one page. There's only one page, and some of it is actually procedures, but you're basically just trying to follow this trading plan. All right. Now, I will tell you that I require the level 1 traders to follow these instructions in the trading plan to the letter before you can get to level 2. So if you tend to skim information, you won't get out of level 1 until you stop skimming and follow the instructions that I'm giving to you. And the reason for this is because that if you're going to make money trading Forex, you're going to need to up your game a little bit. Skimming is okay in ordinary life because our decisions tend to not have many consequences. But it's not okay in Forex trading. Now let's just real quickly pop over to level 2. Let's say you carried out the level 1, or perhaps some of you guys would like to see someone actually what they did in level 1. So I'll pop over to here, and let me see. Jason just recently finished level 1. So let's take a quick peek. And by the way, you can, when you reach a level, you can go back. Let's say you get to level 3. And you've heard that you know, Brendan has done a great job. You can actually go back to Brendan's level 1 forum and see that he entered our program with no experience whatsoever, and you can literally follow his progression all the way to level 3, or if he's in level 4 at that time. So so it's kind of some kind of cool stuff here. So this is actually Jason Lee. I hope you don't mind me sharing. He actually started 1 week and 1 day ago. You can see the timestamp here. Again, everything's really transparent here. And you can see his first trade, and you see some other members jumping in to help him out with an issue he's having. And then he takes another trade, and you can see that I give some clarification on the issue he's having with the level 1 trading plan. And, you know, that just keeps going back and forth. And then eventually he gets promoted to level 2 for doing everything correctly. Right? So again, it's very objective oriented. You know, do the work, move to the next level. And so all we're looking at is, do you know this information? Do you know what to do, or don't you? And it's actually more simple. He's added all these notes in here. It's not this complicated, but he's just trying to make sure that we understand what he's doing. So so I guess he started, if we look at that, he started in level 1 a week and a day ago, and then a few days later he moved to level 2. So that gives you an idea. Okay, so level 2 education. Let's pop over to that. In level 2, you're learning all the parts of the high probability trading setup and risk management. Just as there's a probability associated with which direction price is likely to go, there's also a high probability in entry, a high probability stop loss, a high probability target, a high probability risk to reward ratio, and so on. So level 2 has the most education of any level by far. There's, I don't know, 17 classes or so. But so that's that. So what you do is you go through here and you learn. What we're doing is we're teaching you the logic. And I want to bring up a sticky note again here just to emphasize something. But I just want to emphasize this again. I mentioned this earlier. You can never succeed by copying what another trader does. And so let me see if I got, yeah, there we go. So again, as I was saying, we teach you high probability logic, and your only objective is just to trade. So in other words, just swing the bat. Okay. If you swing the bat, you trade, and you're missing a piece of the logic, or you're missing something, we notice that, and so we point out what you're missing, and we encourage you. So you don't gotta, like, you know, study this over and over and over again. Just study it and then get in there and start swinging. If we think you need to study it again, we'll let you know. But there will come a time as you're trading in level 2 that a pattern will emerge. It'll be a setup that only you see. You know, that setup will be consistent with good logic for every element that affects your probability of winning. And you know, when that happens, when we see what you're doing well, then we move you to level 3. And so let me go to the level 3 education. There are only a few classes in level 3. It's because almost everything we do in level 3 is training. But this is where we work on the second part of the skill, which is high risk decision making. And again, the experience is what's important here. Okay, so now just imagine you finish level 2 and you have your trading setup that only you see. Our task is now for you to define it. Now, I have a strategy I use to get you to define your own setup. I ask you questions until we have it. It's just as simple as that. That's really what we do. I ask you a series of questions, and then if I don't understand a couple of parts of what I'm asking you, then I ask you for clarification, and eventually through that process, we get all the parts answered from your point of view about your trading plan. So then we have your first trading plan done, and you immediately move to the top 5% of all Forex traders, because only about 5% of Forex traders ever have a trading plan. If I add the word good in there, good trading plan, then we probably want to drop it to about 1 to 2%. So you really do make that jump right there. You're doing things that millions of Forex traders have never done before, and something which is crucial to your success. I want to show you that level 3 has 2 parts to it. So it's the first part where you get promoted to level 3, and we're working out those questions and answers. And you can see that I'm going to show you OPME right here. You can see right now that I asked him some questions and about a particular trade that he took, and you can see, let's see, where is it? Oh, we're on page 2. Let me zip over to page 1. And so you can see the classes ask you to answer questions, and I provide this picture from your level 2 trading. I pick out one that I think represents your best trade during that work, and then I ask questions in the class, and then you come in and answer those questions. Now, what I do at that point is do I have another tab there? I don't think that I do. Forums. Let me bring this up. I want to show you what I do while you're answering those questions. While you're answering those questions, I have a completely different second part of level 3 forum, and I'm going to need just a moment to bring this up because I know he's not on. Brendan is actually on page 6. But while you're answering those questions without you actually seeing it, I'm actually over here building your trading plan on your new forum. And so it keeps you from reading other people's trading plans and having that influence you. And so you end up basically with a custom trading plan. All right, so I know I'm covering a lot of information with you, but if you're serious in learning how to trade Forex, this is going to show you how to do it. Now, your only goal in level 3 is to follow your trading plan. And let me see if I've got that on a sticky. I may or may not. Yeah, your only goal, in other words, your objective, because each level has an objective, just follow the trading plan. And I'll tell you that half of the traders will spend their first 2 months not even looking at their trading plan. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Ordinary life has convinced them that they don't really need to do that. They actually can remember it all in their head. But you would be wrong about that when it comes to Forex trading. But I don't judge. I just suggest what you should do over and over again. So keep that in mind when you get to level 3. Actually print it, put it in front of you, and read it over. And if you don't, you will eventually, spend a couple of months spinning your wheels until we, able to communicate the value. Let me see if I got another. But here's where it gets interesting in level 3. When you complete 10 trades, we actually get together one-on-one and go over your trades. And I evaluate your consistency with your setup, your strengths and weaknesses, and how well you did following your trading plan. And then I usually suggest some things for you to practice, or sometimes a minor change to a trading plan based on what you just experienced. And that's a great word. I mentioned it earlier as well. Experience. You're only going to make consistent profit because of what you experience, not because of what you know. And you know, you're only gaining great experience in level 3. So in terms of level 3, how long does it take? It usually takes 40 to 60 trades to get from level 3 to level 4. Level 4 is where you begin trading live. But to get there, we'll need to adjust your plan and your focus until you're taking your trade consistently. And that's the secret of consistent profit, taking your high probability trade and executing well. Now, you might think it is easy to simply have the willpower to follow your own instructions, but that's not the case. You have to practice and develop the skill of doing that. If you look up the word discipline in the dictionary, it doesn't have anything to do with willpower. What it says, the number one definition, is training to be able to follow a set of rules. So it's not your ability to follow a set of rules. Discipline is training to follow a set of rules, and having that definition will help you understand what discipline is and really understand what your job is. But that's really what we're doing. We're training ourselves to execute well. But you have to practice and develop the skill of doing that. And we have to ask the questions, you know, why did you not follow your trading plan? Why did you make that mistake? And then we have to make little adjustments. Again, real life stuff, the stuff you do when you're doing anything in real life applies to Forex trading. There's no magic bullet here that's going to make you a great Forex trader. Level 4 is where you begin trading live. We keep the risk small. Again, my only objective in this program is for you to be making consistent profit. And making $5 a day requires the same technical skill as making $500 a day. So this is why we focus on making consistent profit. But in level 4, we make sure that you're not risking anything that will affect your lifestyle. At least that's our strong suggestion. We don't want you trading an amount of money that's going to hurt your family before you're ready. But we're identifying your risk tolerance level and a few other things. For those of you who don't know, risk tolerance level is simply the point at which the risk, the amount that you're risking, affects you in such a way that it changes your behavior. So we'd like to find out what that is and keep you just below that level as you're trading live. This is also level 4. This is where traders sometimes make 30 or 40% their first month. They get a little euphoria going and actually change their trading plan. And believe me, it happens all the time. And from my point of view, that's all part of learning this. It's part of what we go through, most of us. And you know, but you, as the old saying goes, you have to dance with the one who brung you. All that work you did in level 1, 2, and 3 demonstrated to yourself what you could do successfully. So imagining that now that you're successful doing that, you can just go trade other things is just that. It's just imagination. And I'll show you why that is in the program. I want you to know that I personally oversee every trader at this time. We do have about 1,500 members, but a small percentage of those are actually enrolled in this program I'm describing to you right now. So I have time to do that at this point. By the way, we have some great trainers, but I'm just letting you know that at this point you get in now, I'm personally overseeing every single trader. I do answer questions from those who aren't in the program, some of our other members, but I focus 90% of my time on the members, always making sure that you know exactly what you need to do to move closer to your goal of consistent profit. Again, you're going to notice we always come back to what's your objective, what's our goal, what do you need to do next, real life stuff. But in the end, when you take your setup and execute well, you make profit. I also want to point out that in our program, you know, you can access any of this 24 hours a day. If you post at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, maybe, you know, other trainers give you comments at 5 o'clock in the morning, maybe 5 minutes later. I show up, I look it over, maybe I comment 6 hours later. You can do this any time of the day, and you can move at your own pace. Most people take an average of 60 days to get to level 3. It's been done in 6 weeks by someone who's very good at following instructions. And if you think about it, someone who's good at following instructions, at least in the United States, that's a trait that we don't honor much. But that's in the ordinary world. But if you're a person who follows instructions very well in Forex trading, you're the guy who gets to ride on the jet aircraft. Okay, so again, you know, you'll find there's very big differences between the rich and the poor as you start to get in and start to examine what they actually do. But in short, just about everything you do with us will be different in some way from anything else you've done in Forex trading. But even if you have a lot of experience and a lot of it seems familiar, it's going to fill in the missing pieces for those of you who already have a lot of experience. One caution. People who have 2, 4, 5 years experience, they often they come in with the expectation of move me fast. Again, all you have to do is carry out the objectives. If you're not carrying out the objectives, we don't move you anywhere. So try to be patient and follow the program so that we double check and fill in those gaps for you to make sure you're learning what you need to learn that you're missing. Now, the best part of this is I could easily charge $5,000 for this training, but because of this system that we've created and programmed here, for a limited time, we're still offering this at only $99 per month. And since I know a thing or two about risk, I take all of the risk out of your decision. You can try this for 30 days, and if you don't think you're on the way to earning consistent profit, you just simply email me a note, and you will receive a refund within 1 business day. It's as simple as that. And keep in mind that you only need a couple of hours a day to do this. When you're in level 3, that drops to 30 minutes a day. Now, when you're fully skilled, how long does it take? 5 to 10 minutes a day. Yeah, I meet people who say, I want to be a full-time trader. I said, well, how long are you going to trade? Oh, 4 to 6, 8 hours a day, 4 to 6 hours a day. No, you're not. If the market's not moving, there's nothing to look at. If your setup's not there, there's no reason to be looking at the charts. So when you're fully skilled, you'll be able to do this in 5 to 10 minutes a day. So if you're setting out to be a full-time trader, and it only takes 5 to 10 minutes a day, be sure to be thinking about what else you're going to be doing with your time in the future, because you will not be staring at the computer. Well, at least not for Forex trading. What I love about this is that it opens a new door of possibility for people, and that feels pretty good when you're doing it. We've all had that experience of, wow, this is new and I'm going somewhere new. This will feel like that if you just engage. Now, you should know that I've never allowed anyone to make a single income claim or percentage claim. We build houses. We show you how to build houses brick by brick. We don't need to sound like everyone else. And you should know that all those claims and everything, we give up tens of thousands of dollars in sales, but we don't care. We're not trying to be the biggest. We're only focused on being the best, which I believe 100% we are, and I'm entitled to that belief if I want to have it. But I can point to a lot of evidence why that's probably true. But here's what I can tell you for sure. You're going to learn things here you've never learned from anyone else, and you're going to learn to make consistent profit. Now, I got to show you a couple things with respect to the sign-up page. Let me see if I can show you for those of you who are going to consider this. Let me get that sticky note out of the way. Trying to move a little quick for you guys. Today, and probably today only, there's a link at the very bottom of forexartofwar.com. And I say it's today only because we're actually changing the home page tomorrow, or tonight, rather. And so if you're going to sign up now, today, just click on that link on the bottom. Again, it says 6 months commitment. I'd like you to think about doing this for 6 months. But if something changes your mind within 30 days, then no problem. There's no obligation. But I'd like you to we got to overcome the obstacles, the discomfort that we feel when we're trying to achieve a new goal, and you're going to run into those hurdles. And if you're focused on 6 months, you're more likely to be able to overcome some of those obstacles emotionally that you're going to run into. But again, first 30 days, it's, is this what Vance says it is or not? And again, there's no contract, so you can actually quit anytime. Now, if you happen to show up tomorrow and you want to sign up, the page is going to look a little bit more like this, and the sign up page button will be right there. So this will be the new page. And notice you can type me any question here that you want. I'm probably going to move that over here. Anyway, this is just a beta site, but it'll be right here after today. So anyone listening to this after today is just going to see it here. Again, it's on forexartofwar.com. I think that's about it. I want to thank everyone for their time this morning. Members, hold on, please. I hope you enjoyed the session. do get involved with us. You'll be glad you did. That's guaranteed. And so, team, hold on just a moment while I close this out.